Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. Am I breaking up, Karen? That whole beginning was just horrible on my end. Breaking up, and I don't know what's up. Uh, I beats me. I know my signal is fluctuating. Was I breaking up, Karen, on the opening? So, good evening to Karen and to um, Susan. So, boy, happy Friday. And we seen Dutch since on, I believe, early this morning, and he was talking volcanoes like I do. It's about time. Um, you couldn't tell? Okay, maybe it was just on my end that it was all garbled up. It even restarted the video. Huh. Yeah, it's Friday. Is it Friday the 13th? So, uh, no, it's Friday and it's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to my daughter Connie. Uh, boy, uh, you know, uh, we uh, we kind of uh, wanted a girl really bad. We had a boy and we wanted a girl, and lo and behold, we got a girl. So we got a boy, we got a girl, and now I wish I would have had more because I lost my son. Now I've only got one daughter and grandkids now. Uh, I would have wished for a few more kids. Yeah, but oh well, oh well. There's some I can adopt, I bet. So everything's going good on my property. We've got the surveyor in line. Uh, we're meeting up next week to sign the final paperwork, and it'll be ours. All right, so we're excited about it. So I've been busy all morning. Of course, on trivia, we have trivia after this show. We changed it from Saturday to Friday nights. So, all right. Uh, weather, boy, snow. Canada's being plagued with snow, but I bet they need the snow, and so is Alaska. The gentleman I watch on YouTube, he was getting snow falling in Canada. And I thought, well, that's great. But the rest of us looks like we're going to be clear, warm, and except for up around Washington and Oregon, it looks like they've got some rain coming in. So, with that, I'm going to move over and let Miss Davis tell you the weather.
Well, happy Friday. Here's a look at your weekend forecast starting with the Northeast. No problems today. Looking beautiful with some classic fall temperatures. Through the Midwest, you are A-OK as well. And down to the South, well, temperatures have warmed up. So this is going to be a nice warm afternoon for a lot of you with temperatures in the 80s and 70s and even see a few 90s there popping up in Texas. Now, out to the west, we have a brand new system moving into the Northwest, and that is going to make for some rain in Seattle today. Now, we'll see that rain and even snow expand on Saturday into the Great Basin and down into the Rockies. So it is going to be a wet weekend for you. Now, to the south on Saturday, we're doing just fine. Temperatures stay very mild. We will have a little bit of rain, though, along the southeast coast due to a coastal low. And on Saturday through the Midwest, everything is looking great. To the northeast, you have another dry day on Saturday, so enjoy it because the picture changes for you on Sunday. That rain moves in along with winds. We'll have that rocky snow continue on Sunday and a chance of severe weather through parts of the Midwest and the Eastern Plains.
And then, of course, we hear about Rosyln. Now, how many of you heard about Rosyln yet? Uh, I was been paying attention to it, and it pretty much looked like it was going to um, just go off the coast around Mexico. But lo and behold, it's made a sharp right hand turn, and it is going back into Mexico and maybe even into the southern part of Texas. Um, this is oh boy, I wish I had a bigger picture here. No, let me see. Well, let me do that. I don't think that's going to help. Um, all right. So Mexico City's right there. It's close to Monterey, and as you could see, it came out of well. Boy, I'm having to remove and move and hide. And there we go. There's a good picture of it right there, where it's off Mexico City, and it comes up, and it is now heading towards. It's got a beeline. Looks like for Houston. Now it could clip a little bit of southern Texas and then go out to sea, or it just might go all the way into Houston. This is something I'm watching very closely, and this is Tropical Storm uh, Rosyln. So there we have it. Well, I had to remove everything for that. So, um, earthquakes, boy, there was 48 of them, and oops, I'm trying to set this all up for you guys. All right. And there was one of the bigger ones was in Tonga. That was a 5.2. Now, the odd ones, we had one off of Southwest Indian Ridge. And so I'll bring you on up for this. And let me close that out. Um, the one that just struck is over in the Owen fraction zone region. Now, a lot of these are deep, and this is what Dutch Sense was talking about. And the deep ones seem to be of concern. Now, we had a bunch that was around Tonga. Um, we had one on Fiji Islands, that was a 4.5. And then one right behind it in Nefu, Tonga, a 4.9. Now, there's a cluster of them uh, up around the Philippines. Um, Hinga Tungan, Philippines, that was a 4.4. And right below it was the Molucca Sea, um, 4.6, and Banda Sea, a 4.8. And then uh, Poso, Indonesia, 4.9. So this is a cluster right around, we're in the uh, South Asian seas, right in, real close to Taiwan, where we're having a lot of problems. I'm not saying there's explosions, but yeah, I bet you it's given them a little bit of a jolt. You can feel a little bit on the fours. It just kind of makes you feel off balance. Now, up around Japan, Honshu, Japan got a 4.9. Now, he was saying something about 4.9, 4.9s, and he seems to think they drop them all to 4.9s. I I'm tending to think that yeah, they do tend to drop them to the nines. Like if there's a 6.0, they'll drop it to a 5.9, and that's on the averages. But he is right, Dutch sense, that there are a lot of 4.9s that seem to be happening. Now there is a cluster on the Aleutian Islands, Atka, Alaska, 4.6, and then one same place of 4.2. Now, there was one up real close to Teller, Alaska, and that's up pretty high. The other one up really high was past Iceland on the ridge, the Norwegian Sea of 4.4. Now, we don't usually see them up that high towards Greenland, um, but we sure had one. Now, there was another one in Morocco, a 4.4. Now, that's close to Italy, and I've been trying to keep an eye on Italy, South America, and Northern California. So the one that ended up in the States was in White City, New Mexico. That was a 3.2, and that is recent. And then there's only a few on the California coast, the geysers of 2.7, and those have dropped again. And Santa Cruz, a 2.5. Santa Cruz usually don't have them. Now, around where that last one was, Nicaragua, they had a 4.6, and Panama and Chica had a 4.6. So they're all dropping to fours again. So over the weekend, I'm thinking that we might see some fives and maybe something build back up for Monday. Um, so we're going to keep an eye on this, and they still watching Southern California really hard, and they're still saying there could be one there. I'm thinking Northern California, but we'll find out. And then he was talking about a volcano that's off over, I think, around Indonesia, India. I think, let's see, what's the name of this over here? Paso, over there where we had those earthquakes, the Philippines. There's an island down there that's got um, a volcano. Now, when I looked at the volcano warnings, it's not even on the list. They're still watching um, the one in Hawaii, but Pahala, that was only a 2.7, and they still have a watch on it. So really, the ones up around Alaska are the ones that the USGS volcanologists are watching. So, all right, we're going to move on because I know you guys want to hear some of this other stuff. So, let's get me back up there. UK, poultry farmers demand government issue housing order over the avian flu cases. We had it over here for a while. Now the UK has got it. And they say it's including Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex is already having a housing order for all poultry that requires owners to keep their birds indoors and follow strict measure to protect the flocks from disease. Now, I was real good till I read that paragraph and it said to bring the poultry inside. Who's going to bring chickens in their house? Who does that? Um, now, I'm hoping that means you build them a chicken coop and you put a little warmer in it for them and not bringing them in their house. Um, uh, but yeah, I bet the chickens would love watching TV. But who knows? Now, the outbreaks have occurred in Oxford, Staffordshire, Cheshire, Devon, according to The Guardian. Therefore, farmers are demanding the government extend the current housing order for the whole nation before it spreads. The sheer persistence avian influenza over the past year, uh, coupled with soaring energy and feed cost, the British poultry sector is under a huge emotional and financial pressure. And National Farmers Union Poultry Board Chair James Modersheed, in a statement said, given the recent rise of the avian influenza cases and the distress they cause for farming families, the implementation of housing measures in the east of England is a necessary step. So uh, it means time to build the chicken coops. Don't. I was teasing about bringing them in your house. It's a chicken coop. They want you to build. Um, boy, we had it here, but we didn't hear much about it. The media was too busy, I guess, January 6th stuff, that they didn't want to let uh, farmers here know about the Asian flu. And there was a lot of poultry here. Well, I know about it because of Arkansas, and we have some of the biggest poultry plants in America, and it was going through here thick. And a few times I thought maybe I've got this chicken flu, but who knows? I don't like going to the doctors. I'd rather call and talk to the nurse. And with my immune so low, I didn't want to just go in and spread it to other people. But they never said Asian flu for me, so or the chicken flu. I'm sorry. Um, we They heard about it in Ohio. Yeah, I think the states did it, but I don't think the feds did. And see, that's one thing where you have your states have jurisdiction. Whether the feds say something, your state still can have their own laws and bylaws for things like this, where they can control it. That's how Arkansas is even though they didn't do nothing federally for this chicken flu, they did a lot in the state to make laws and policies for the chicken farmers to keep everyone safe. So, um, the bees defense. The bees defense. Is it a good defense? Massachusetts woman is accused of unleashing her swarms of bees on sheriff deputies who were trying to service an eviction notice. Just an eviction notice. The chaotic situation happened a few weeks ago in Hampden County. The deputies serving the notice were met with protesters outside the home in Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Um, they were grabbing the bee enclosures, the beehives, and opening them up and throwing them towards the sheriff's department. Uh, the official department reported that Rory S. Woods, who lives in Hadley, arrived in an SUV towing a trailer carrying beehives. Who put the beekeeper suit to protect herself and started opening and shaking in the hives and throwing them, causing hundreds of bees to swarm out. It initially sting one deputy, according to the report. Uh, Woods was eventually arrested, but not before several more sheriff's department employees were stung on multiple occasions, including three that were allergic to bees and needed the EpiPen. Uh, when Woods was told that several officers were allergic to bees, she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Well, good, good, good twice." Ah, boy. They said they had a staff member go to the hospital with problems breathing. Her lawyer did not immediately respond to the voicemail left by um, the police department. So, yeah, when she was served with an eviction notice, she was waiting with bees to attack the sheriff's department. Ah, boy, people are I don't want to say a bunch of people are mental in our country. I just think they're fed up. I think they have gone beyond. You remember the news report I did, How Far is Too Far? And I think people are just getting pushed too far. I don't think they're mental. I think they're just so mad they just don't think. How many people have done that? Been so angry they just can't think straight and they do dumb things. Yeah, they sure do. Oh boy, wait till you hear this one. Just when we thought the flights were going to be safe, there's another one. Over putting too much baggage overhead, and taking someone's space that's not using it. That really makes people mad, and they're starting to hear these pet peeves. Um, they say that the airlines overall is getting so many flight complaints and it's not on the ground, it's not in the terminal, it's always in the plane. And they said they, where do they stand on these travel issues? Do they start making laws and have people sign contracts? Um, some people get mad because they have a seat in mind and someone sits in it before they do. Should they go back to assigning seats? Um, and if you bring a big bag in and it happens to get into another little, how do you know how much space you're taking up? It just seems really odd that someone would get mad if they're not going to use it. So what? But it does make them mad. Not we heard about the toenail clippers and the people setting their seat back. The other one is like throwing your hair over the seat. That's another one that they don't like. They said, what if they got bugs in their hair? We don't know if they got bugs. Boy. uh, and they're fixing to add more seats. And not only that, they say that um, uh, people that um, um, put their feet, now here's another one, they put their feet under the seat in front of them and move their feet. I guess that you could feel it underneath. I've never felt that. So, oh boy, too many people that do the wrong things, and they say a lot of it is just people that are angry when they get on the plane. Maybe they're in a hurry, and they tend to get upset at every little thing people do around them, and there's nothing they could do about it. The airlines have said their only option is to start making rules and just um, policies that you have to sign before you get on the plane. And they just don't want to go that far. But they said the complaints are horrible. The other one they complain about is kids. They get on there with the babies, and the babies are crying, and the kids are mad, and the kids are running up and down the aisles, and moms should be more respectful. Maybe kids shouldn't fly, was quite a few of the responses. Um, so, uh, eh, like the airline was saying, what do they do? They are getting massive complaints, and it's all these same issues. It's the kids, it's the nail clippings, it's the hair flipping, it's the seat being put back, the feet under the seat, and not enough room for their baggage. Uh, have you seen anybody who's flown? Have you seen anybody that's filled out one of them complaints? Let me know in the comments. Oh boy. So we're going to get onward. Moo, moo, booing bovine. Moo, it's not allowed. You know, you can't have the cow gas, but mooing is getting on the nerves of these elites. And a Spanish farmer now has been fined 300 euros after the cow's moos were too loud, and it was heard by a distant neighbor. And they said it was irritating them because the cow kept mooing, or the cows, a bunch of cows were mooing, it said. Uh, oh boy. Uh, and not only that, but local farmers in the immediate area is one neighbor that's complaining. And one of the cows kept by the farmers was mooing too loudly. And when the neighbor said for it to hush, it mooed even louder. No mooing. Uh, while the owners of the cow stated that the loud mooing had only gone on for a couple days before they were able to get the cow to stop or move it. The neighbor had gone, um, that the noise was going on forever since they moved onto the property. They can hear cows all the time mooing. And now it's starting to get to them, and they're going to start calling the police on the moos. Um, oh boy. I don't know how anybody can read this straight faced, you know. So the maximum, the so when they went out, the police went out and they measured the mooing of the cow. They measured the mooing. Yeah, it found it to be 74 decibel, far above the maximum of 55. So the police told the farmer that his cows, he needs to tell the cows, moo silent, moo. Okay, who I could see the farmer out there going, shh, whisper, whisper, moo. Oh boy, it sounds ridiculous to have to justify the mooing of the cow, but it's being done. Now, how about just tell the neighbor to get some earmuffs or take out her hearing? I don't know. How do you deal with one of them neighbors that you have cows? Cows moo. She's been living there, they said, at least 8 years, and she's never complained till now. But now there's similar stories of odd noises complaints by people unwilling to put up with the normal pattern in life of the countryside. They said these are recent people that have lived in the city that have moved to the country. Not only are they having problem in Madrid with the moos, but the church bells. Yep. And so they're going to start finding local churches around 16,000 euros for church bells. If the church bells are too loud and there are complaints, then they're going to have to hush their church bells. Quiet the church bells. Tell the cows to whisper moo. And it said, like I said, it's all people that move from the city to the country that are doing these complaints. I guess they thought when they moved to the country, it was going to all be quiet. And so the local government now is saying that they have got to come up with something because this latest bizarre governmental decision regarding cows uh, is now starting to be troublesome because they're also taxing and hitting people up with cow burps, and that maybe enough's enough. Um, Not only that, one last thing with the one neighbor that complained about the moose is the cows urinating when she drives by. And she says they're doing it on purpose. Good grief. All right. Wow. Wow. Moo quietly. All right. Uh, we she must live in a no-mo zone. Mm, um, yeah, Southwest don't have a sign. A lot of them don't. A lot of the cheaper planes don't have assigned seats. So, oh boy, silent mooing. I wonder if they have to do silent burping. I wonder if she's seen one burp when she was driving by. And I don't think the cow is urinating just because she drives by. Boy, she must think that these cows are after her. Um, oops. Um, now, of all things that you get very scared of is sitting in Florida. I believe this was in Florida. No, this was in Australia. I'm sorry, it was a crocodile. I should have known reading the title. Um, I must sneeze. Um, so a friend on Monday, him and his friend, uh, basically after they lunged this predator, crocodile, lunged at his boat, um, and the friend was leaning over. It sounds like they were hunting crocodiles, and he leaned over the same time the croc came out of the water and grabbed his friend's head. The only thing this gentleman could think of was to grab his knife and fight off the crocodile with his hands and trying to peel the teeth off of his friend's head before the croc pulled him under the water. And so this was horizontal falls in Kimberley region of Western Australia. And not only that, but they said that this is the second time in the same area. The first time was a tour operator for horizontal falls seaplane adventures said that they had a reptile launch itself towards and trying to get in the boat. One man said his son was involved in an incident where the croc lunged and grabbed them one by the head, but it was by the hand and was trying to pull him out of the boat. So now said they are going to be looking at trying to find this crocodile and have him moved. So the crocodile is hungry for human heads. And they said that's what it seems to be. That when it lunges out of the water, it goes right for the head that's on the boats. And if it says these little sea cruises, it just basically tries to get the hands. So, um, so now we have a crocodile attack. Now he did get his friend's head out of the mouth. Uh, he basically said he stabbed it close to 20 times, and it just slithered right back into the water and swam away. Uh, their um, their skin is hard, folks. I don't know if you've ever felt an alligator or a crocodile. It's almost uh, like armor. It's a type of armor, and it's very thick. And if he stabbed this thing 20 times, and he didn't even see blood. He said it just basically slipped right back in the water as soon as his friend's head was released and swam away. So now I told you guys about the Bigfoot warning signs in front of a park. This is in Pennsylvania. They say they don't know who's posting these signs. This is park officials, but it's not them. They said also they threw cold water on the notion that Sasquatch might be making a home in the Keystone State. Bigfoot, they say, is not real. And the signs state that people have been having encounters and in the area and call on visitors to observe elevated park etiquette and to be cautious. Don't approach the creature. Robinson at the park administration said um, that the signs were added and been turning up for months, and not only in the park there, but many parks across Pennsylvania. Visitors have been posting images of it as for fun, And the agency that claimed Bigfoot isn't real is unlikely to end up in the debate. And so they say the cryptid monster, they have never seen it, never heard about it, but they are advising whoever's putting these signs up, the joke's over and time to quit putting these signs up because it's basically people are pulling them off and leaving them on the ground, and now it's becoming garbage. So, all right, and we are on to the funny list. How cold is it? You guys cold yet? How cold is it? 60 Californians put on sweaters, and if they can find one in their wardrobe. 50 Miami residents turned on the heat. 40, you could see your breath. California shivers uncontrollably. Minnesota's go swimming. 35 Italian cars don't start. 32 water freezes. 30 planned vacations in Australia. And Minnesotans put on T-shirts. Politicians begin to worry about the homeless. No, they don't. British cars don't start. Um, 25 Boston water freezes. California's weep pitiably. Minnesota's eat ice cream, and Canadians go swimming. To 20 of them, they can hear their breath. Well, that's a new one. Karen, who lives away up there when it snows and gets really super cold? Can you hear your breath? Is it crackle? I don't know. I've never heard of that one. So you can hear your breath. Politicians begin to talk about the homeless. No, they don't. New York City water freezes. Miami residents plan vacations further south. 15 French cars don't start. You plan your vacation to Mexico. The cat insists on sleeping in your bed. Um, 10, it's too cold to ski. You need jumper cables to get the car going. Five, five need a vacation in Houston. And then it's the American cars don't start. Alaskans put on t-shirts. It's too cold to skate. Um, 15 can you can cut your breath and use it as an igloo. Arkansas stick tongue on metal objects. Well, no, they don't. That happened on that other show, and I think that was in another city. No, Arkansans don't do that. Yeah, uh-huh. Um, and Miami residents cease to exist. Cat insists on sleeping in your pajamas with you when it drops below 20. Huh. Politicians actually do something about the homeless. I'm going to quit reading those. Minnesotans shovel snow off their roof, and Japanese cars quit working. Um, if now we're going to do, now it's 25 below, it's too cold to think. You need jumper cables to get the driver going. Wow, that's cold. All right, so when it's too cold, you plan a week in a hot bath. The mighty Mongella freezes. Swedish cars don't start. uh, California's disappear into Mexico. A congressional hot air freeze, and Alaskans close the bathroom window. Um, Hell freezes over, and the polar bears move south, and lawyers put their hands in their own pockets. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. All right. So I have quite a few of them today. Into the future. What's going to happen in the future? Maybe 2056, it says. Ozone created by electric cars, now killing millions in the seventh largest country in the world. Mexifornia is formerly known as California. A couple petitions court to reinstate uh, heterosexual marriage. In 2056, last remaining fundamentalist Muslim dies in the American territory of the Middle East, formerly known as Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, and Lebanon. Iran still closed off, and physicists estimate it will take at least 10 more years before radioactivity decreases to safe levels in Iran. Um, George Bush the 30th will run for president in 2058. Postal Services raises prices of the first class stamp to 17.89 and reduces mail delivery to Wednesdays only. In 2056, 85-year-old 75 billion study diet, exercise are the keys to weight loss. Average weight of Americans dropped 250 pounds. Japanese scientists have created a camera with such a fast shutter speed, they now can photograph a woman with her mouth shut. I like that one. Massachusetts executes the last remaining conservative. Supreme Court rules punishment of crimes violate their civil rights. In 2056, the average height of an NBA player is now 9 feet 7 inches. New federal law requires that all nail clippers, screwdrivers, fly swatters, and rolled up newspapers must be registered um, uh, by the NRA no later than January 2057. Fly swatters and rolled up newspapers, huh? All right. Congress authorized direct deposit of formerly illegal politician contributions to campaign accounts. 2056, the IRS sets the lowest tax rate at 75%. The spotted owl threatens northwestern United States crops and livestock. Babies conceived naturally. Scientists are stumped and amazed. Florida voters still don't know how to use the voting machines. All right. Boy. All right. I got a few more. So, um, reasons to build a fence. We are so into the border wall. Maybe we need to build some fences, keep some of these weird neighbors out, like the moo lady. The moo lady. Okay. Reasons to build a fence. You are ashamed of the laundry you hang in your yard. You have a pet that you want to keep inside your yard. The neighbors have a pet, but they are too cheap to build a fence. You are housing nuclear waste dump and it was a requirement. You are growing an illegal drug producing plant that you want to keep secret. You have international boundaries and you want to keep the foreigners out. The supplies were on sale. A fence sounded nice. You hate your neighbors and you want to avoid contact with them. Your in laws are coming over and you need something to keep you busy. And the last one, you raise monkeys and want to see if they're capable of painting the fence. All right. 2056, you won't be here. Oh, boy. Uh, don't. Uh, all right. Don't believe the Bigfoot stories. But that is it for today. And coming up in about 20 minutes is news and trivia. So come on back and play trivia. I've got about 5 minutes worth of trivia today. It's a big one. And it's on Westerns. How well do you know your Westerns? We'll have to see. Some of them are really easy, some of them are challenging. A lot of them I made sure they were classic movies or TV shows, or some of the questions would. I didn't make them too easy, but I didn't make them too hard. All right, so please subscribe to uh, our weather and lifestyle news show and share with friends and family and hit the like button, hit that bell, and then come on back. And this is Friday, which means we won't be back till Monday. And you guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Get out and enjoy the nice weather. And maybe go out and start looking for Halloween stuffs. If you don't, look for fall harvest. I like seeing the people in my neighborhood that decorate fall harvest, not the pumpkins and the scary stuff. It's all real pretty fall harvest wreaths and very nice stuff. And there was a sign across the street says howdy. All right. With that, we will see you all in a few minutes, or we will see you on Monday. But come on in and try trivia in about 20 minutes. Um, we'll see you there. Bye bye, folks.